Well, it's Friday the 28th of May, with the sun and moon in Gemini above, and in between Ascension Day and Whitsun below. My thoughts always turn to King Arthur as the Mayful Man of Britain. This is episode 2021 of 301 Permanently Moved to Online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded and edited in 1 hour by me at the JMO. Over breakfast this morning, I was thinking about what today's show should be about. Usually, an idea comes along during the week. Yes, I'll think, I should do my show on that. And then I think about it on and off, mentally rehearsing the beats and developing the idea until it's time to write them up in one frantic brain dump. But nothing really arrived this week, so I thought perhaps we should just take a tour of the things that have been front of mind for me this week. Well, firstly, work is slow. All the folks I've been working with are either too busy to focus on the pre-pandemic projects I was involved with, or they're all furloughed, so I've had time to reapproach some self-directed personal projects. This is not to say, of course, that I wouldn't like some work, so if you listen to this and think I might have something to offer you, then this is the occasional reminder that you can contact me via the form on my website. So let's begin with a document I have open in another tab that's just called Attention. My PDF zine, Your Attention is Sovereign, from last year has been linked to from somewhere and has had another boost in downloads in the last 10 days or so. Whether as a reminder or unconnected, an acquaintance got in touch asking about meditation and whether it would help to get their attention back. Of course, I said, yeah, maybe, as a side effect, but it isn't the sole reason you should be getting into mindfulness. I said that in certain circumstances, my attention span can be very focused, and other times, not so much. I know, and it's terrible. For example, I've basically given up watching TV shows and movies, much to Eve's disappointment, due to the medium's lack of ability to hold my attention. And yet, I happily spend hours out in the garden doing nothing except watching the sky and listening to 1950s radio plays like X-1 on archive.org. Getting to the root of my friend's problem, however, it seems their usually focused attention span has been shredded by social media during lockdown. We talked about 40 minutes as a useful unit of attention, not as arbitrary as an hour, but well over the average of 8 seconds our attention spans have been reduced to since the advent of social media. We talked about the different qualities of attention, and I found myself writing something about deep listening, attention, and sound. I have another tab open called Little Miquela, an essay I started writing back in November as part of my self-set 30 essays in 30 days NaNoWriMo challenge. It's up to about 4.5k words. Returning to this document was spurred by Holly Herndon and Matt Dryhurst's recent discussion with Trevor McFreedies of Brud on their excellent new podcast Interdependence last week, link in the show notes. I thought I'd better finish writing it and post it on the internet before the world moves on and whatever usefulness it might contain slips away. It's about the phenomenon of virtual influencers, the current state of virtual property and crypto, headless brands, distributed autonomous organizations with others, and possible future metaverses. I have another document open called Tree Relationships. It's just me writing down all the trees I fondly remember throughout the 35 years or so that I've been on this earth, as part of my daily 300 words of writing practice. It seems I'm at an age now where it's apparently fun to remember and reminisce. This lockdown period has been an opportunity to think about my social life and, dare I say, wider social network that includes the more than human world. It's amazing once you sink into that area of thinking, how memories bubble up, remembering trees like remembering a forgotten face or an old friend. Pretty much like everything sitting on my hard drive, I'm not sure what will become of this, but I was thinking that I should like to maybe do a cut and paste scene that includes rubbings from the trees I can still access and mention in the text, but we'll see. I also found a document at the bottom of my Google Drive called 301001. I found it when clearing out and archiving my digital life recently. The document's last edit was made on the 18th of September 2014. Inside, I was surprised to find the first script for the first iteration of this podcast, and it opens as follows. Hello, this is the voice of At the JMO, and for the next 3 minutes and 1 second, you are listening to episode 301.001. In 1977, the World Administrative Radio Conference, a technical conference of the International Telecommunications Union, assigned each country 5 high-powered channels for direct broadcast by satellite. It's really surprising that the seed of this podcast was all there 6 years ago. I don't seem to be able to find the MP3s of the first 3 test episodes I made back then, but still, I wish I'd started making that show and seen what it might have become. But 3 minutes and 1 second was super hard to write a script for. Turns out, it took me 4 more years to realise it should be 5 minutes and 1 second. Also, because of reasons, I have been reading about the history of the wheelbarrow this week, a topic I was toying with for this week's show actually, and how I just refuse to believe that Europeans forgot how to make them after the Roman Empire collapsed. It just seems absurd. Anyway, that's been me this week. See you again, same time, same place, next week.